Welcome everyone, welcome to our first of 4 group stages here at the Global Trophy Champion of Champions 2022. I'm joined alongside
Sam Elliott, 64. Yes, we are back for the Global Trophy Champions proper this time. And of course, we have our first group, which looks pretty open, to be honest with you, Chris. I don't know how you feel about the way that the draw came out, but this group certainly appears to be maybe the weakest on paper.
It certainly is. I can give you the facts on these 4 groups, which just proves how good this group is, or how essentially easy this group is in comparison to the rest. Group B, what you believe to be the group of death, I actually agree with you now, because they have 5 of the top 10 ranked teams in it.
It's crazy to think about. And then this group has like 1 or 2.
Well, if we go down the list, Group C has 3 of the top 5 ranked teams in it, and Group D has 5 of the top 15.
Yeah, so this is really is like maybe the weakest of the 4 groups. But this is the one I'm most interested in, because you're gonna get 3 teams. I mean, I'm probably going to jump the gun here. I think Nigeria is going to absolutely stomp this group. But aside from them, it's a free-for-all. And like, you're going to get 3 teams in the Champion of Champions finals at the end of the competition that maybe wouldn't be there normally.
Yeah,
and that excites me.
Yeah, and Group A has only 2 of the top 15 in it.
It's crazy, right?
So, yeah, definitely the easiest group this. So, if the country's in this group, then fair play to them. They've got a shot at it.
They do.
Okay, so, we're evolving here at the Global Trophy. I'm now using new recording software, and also a new emulator for this game. I'm still running it on an emulator, but I'm running it on the legendary DuckStation. Instead of the PSX, whatever it was called, previously.
Making big moves here, you know. The audio quality's gone up over the last few years. For those of you that watched the Trials of England a few months back, you'll hear us in the early days with our terrible quality microphones, whereas now, you know, we both have, you know, studio quality. You know, it's great.
Hey, my microphone was just fine. It was. I still have it here. It's a microphone that I used for like over 10 years. Never broke, and it was decent quality for 30 quid. So, you know,
yeah.
Which obviously is my favourite number, and that's the first time I think that Sam hasn't picked up on the fact that I just said that number.
I definitely did. I just was going to leave it for later.
Bollocks, did you? I know you. They know you. Look at the draw stage.
It's true. It's true.
Don't worry, you'll get a chance later, because there's a certain rank in this group. But, yes, DuckStation actually allows you to upscale graphics up to 8K.
Whoever wanted, you know, ultra high definition global trophy, you've now got it.
Even though it's just I'm essentially recording it in probably about 440 and then downscaling it to 1080 60 FPS. But screw it, this game doesn't have much in it anyway in the form of graphics, so never mind. Oh, we do get to see actually how good the players look, though, when we do the dub matches.
We do. This is very good.
So that's going to be good to find out. So let's find out. Okay, so we're going to go from bottom to top, just so Sam can get his favorite bit about this segment in. We're going to kick off with our lowest ranked team first in Group A, which is rank number 30. It's Peru.
Do you know what's funny? Okay, we were recording this in June of 2022, and Peru have just failed to compete to qualify for the 2022 World Cup. They lost to Australia, and the Peruvian fans actually brought a banner to the crowd because they were so confident of beating Australia. It was like a Google search saying Australia going to the 2022 World Cup, and it had underneath it, "Did you mean Peru?" And they lost to Australia, so they didn't qualify.
Ah, arrogance, something that us England fans know too well about, to be honest.
This is true.
Oh, speaking of that, no, they're not the lowest ranked team in this group.
It's England.
How could I forget our dud team, eh?
Every time.
Dud team for life in the Champion of Champions unless they actually make it to a top 32 at some point. Our dud team's England, of course.
Of course, a worthy dud team for their
Being
historical,
shit.
their historical, you know, weakness in the global trophy.
Yep. Next up, a team that actually has a bloody chance of going through. Ranked number 28, the highest riser since the 2018 Champion of Champions, at least to qualify for this. It's formerly ranked 133 back in 2018, but now ranked 28. It's Angola.
They've had a really good run, and they've really kicked on in the last few years and consistently qualified for the finals, which has really helped them. You know, they haven't had a glory run in said finals. I think they've only made it to round 1, maybe to round 2 once.
They made it to round 2 last year. Or this year, I guess, earlier this year.
Yeah, so it really has been like a big renaissance for Angola, and they've really turned a corner. And here they are in the Champion of Champions, no less.
Yep, Angola actually made their Global Trophy Finals debut a couple of years back, and they were the dud team then. They've come back 2 years in a row since then. So certainly a very surprising team on the rise, and just with that performance, well deserved to be here.
Yeah, completely agree.
Next up, they are ranked number 24, going down 8 ranks from the 2018 Champion of Champions, where they were actually 16th. It is former Asian champions Iran.
Yeah, Iran, one of the most successful teams in Asia. They've won on 3 previous occasions, including the very first ever Asian Section Championship.
Yep, and next up, going up 82 ranks, so the second highest risers in the Global Trophy Champion of Champions this year. They were ranked 102nd last time round, but they are now ranked number 20. They are the 2021 Champions of Europe, Romania.
What a story for Romania. You know, they had that incredible run in 2021. I think they also made it to the last 16 that year in the finals, but they've also been quite consistent over the last couple of years. I think they've qualified more than once for the finals,
yes,
which is incredible to think about.
Yes, they have qualified a second time, so all good there certainly for Romania. Next up, ranked 18, they barely made it through in the last Global Trophy Champion of Champions, where they were ranked 32nd, barely edging out Denmark. It is the UAE.
UAE have been finalists as recently as this year, I think, in the Asian section. They finished second to Australia in that competition, and I want to say they did it another year as well, but I can't remember in the last 4 years. So they've been quite consistent in their home sector. As for the Global Trophy Championship itself, again, maybe not the strongest team, but, you know, a solid enough side in this group.
Yep, and next up, third highest ranked team in this group, which just proves how, well, pitiful this group is. So, Nigeria, all eyes on you, really. But ranked number 16, they were ranked 37 in 2018, so barely missed out, but they're here this time. It's Ecuador.
Ecuador have been on a good run as of late, as denoted by the 16 ranking. They actually made the semi-finals, was it this year, of the Americas section?
Believe so, yes.
Yeah, so again, they're a solid team, they're not a world-beating team, but they are going to be considered a favourite in this group.
Yep, 11 victories to their name, which is certainly no slouch.
No, not at all.
Next up, representing Asia, ranked 11. Formerly ranked 17 back in 2018's Champion of Champions. Probably second fiddle here to go through from Group A, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, of course, had that amazing glory run to the semi-finals back in 2020 or 21, where they knocked out former champions Germany in the quarterfinals. You know, what an incredible run it was as well. But, you know, they're also 4-time Asian champions. They're not a slouch. They know how to win. So, let's see.
Yep, and last but not least, well, gotta be the favourite for this group, ranked number 6. They were ranked 7th last time round. 21 victories to their name in the last 4 years. That's the second highest out of any team in the last 4 years. And the current Champion of Champions runner-up, it's Nigeria.
The most successful African team ever. They've won 8 African titles. They have been the furthest progressing African team, as along with Cameroon finishing second. You've got to think they've got to be the red-hot favourites for this, but you never know. Stranger things have happened.
It certainly has, and it's going to be incredibly interesting to see how well these teams are going to do. Anyway, England's our dud, as usual. Let's begin Group A. And we're kicking off with Angola versus Ecuador right now. So, 3rd highest ranked versus 7th highest ranked in this group.
Angola, of course, the big risers coming from the depths of rank 133.
Yep, and versus Ecuador. Both teams didn't make it to the Champion of Champions last time round, so it's going to be their first match against each other.
Both making their debut here.
It's a 3-1 win for Ecuador. They go first to kick off so far.
Good start for Ecuador there. Big win for them. Angola will have to do better than that.
Yep, Iran are going to get their first 3 points when they take on England. So each team will play England and each other twice.
Yeah. So you'll get guaranteed 6 points from England, but you'll also have to play every other team in the group.
Oh,
twice.
it's the
RJ Fernandez. Look at this.
It's the Faroe Islands conspirator. There he is.
He's back. He's been let out again.
He's been let out of prison after shooting a coach driver. Let's have a look at this 8K graphics then, shall we? Look at that!
Wow, Jesus.
Look at those polygons move.
I tell you what a game.
You can actually see the numbers on the back of their shirts for a change.
That does surprise me. I don't think even FIFA did that back in 2001. I can't remember.
Well, to be honest, FIFA 2001 probably had a hell of a lot better better graphics and better what's the word I'm looking for? Gameplay
sort of thing. Yeah.
Collision, possibly.
To be fair, I had FIFA 2000 on the PlayStation 1, and it was bloody awful to look at. But it did have Gary Lineker and Mark Lawrenson commentating. It was wonderful.
Oh, yeah. So did the original LMA Manager. That was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay, so Iran first for the moment. Now, remember, obviously, since there are 9 teams in this group, and that means more than likely there's going to be a couple of teams who aren't going to play much, but then they're just going to have quick-fire games. So you've got to be wary of those when they fly out of the woodwork.
Yeah, every round, at least one team will not play a fixture every game week, so you'll have to be aware of that.
Yep, Nigeria, favourites here in this group. They take on Peru, the lowest ranked in this group.
Yep, highest versus lowest. Interested to see how they stack up against each other.
Good win for Nigeria there, 2-0.
I was expecting more than that, I'll be honest with you.
Yep, Peru, well, this is the Champion of Champions, so...
There's no weak team, really, I suppose, is there?
There's no really weak team in. I mean, I guess possibly maybe a Burkina Faso and a Kuwait, possibly, but you don't know. They've pulled shockers before. They could do it again. Romania. Exactly. Former champions of Europe taking on serial champions of Asia, Saudi Arabia.
This is a fascinating matchup, this is.
Win for Romania, 2-1.
That's a big shout for Romania there. Saudi Arabia will have to do better than that. And moving on, we have Angola, who will get their first points on the board as they take on England.
Yep, so the UAE missing out on their first fixture, and they might miss out on their second fixture as well, and just not have to play any matches until right at the end, so they can... You're sort of in an interesting battle there, so you're just awaiting for all your opponents to tire themselves out and then just fire straight in, so...
Or alternatively, you know, it gives them a target to aim for in terms of points. You know, you can kind of look back and think, okay, well, they've got this many points. We need to get this many to kind of qualify, so to speak.
Look at that graphics. Look at
that. Beautiful, isn't it? I tell you what. I also noticed that Angola's formation was a 4-2-4.
Yeah, a bit nuts.
Yeah, very aggressive. Very aggressive.
Very aggressive. I wonder if any teams actually play 4-2-4 these days. Probably not, because it's a lot of football is about midfield these days, isn't it?
It's all about systems, isn't it? It's all about, you know, the change of, you know, system as you're going forward and backward sort of thing.
Yep. Ecuador now going to be taking on Iran. Both teams got a win in their first match.
Iran, of course, winning the bye over England. Ecuador, a 3-1 win against Angola in their first match.
It's a win for Ecuador, 1-0.
Good result for Ecuador, puts them to the top of the table with 2 wins.
Yep, Nigeria now yet to let in a goal. They won their first match against Peru. Romania, shock win over Saudi Arabia to kick off.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I think Nigeria are probably the favourites, but don't discount Romania in this one.
2-0 win for Nigeria. They're up to first. No goals let in so far.
All as you like by Nigeria. And next up is Peru and Saudi Arabia, both getting off to a losing start. They'll have to change that here.
4-0 Saudi Arabia. That's what we expected to see.
much, much more like it from Saudi Arabia puts them into 3rd place.
Angola currently in 5th, Iran in 4th. Both teams winning a draw so far, or win a loss so far.
Yep, and both teams, I believe, also had a win over England, didn't they?
Yep, and Iran with the better goal difference so far.
Yep.
Win for Iran, 3-0. They move to 1st.
Only briefly, though, as Ecuador get their bye win against England.
Yep, their first bye win, 2 bye wins each. They also play 4-2-4.
Very aggressive.
Bunch of nutters in this group.
Yeah, they all just love pressing their opposition, clearly.
It's gonna be interesting to see how it goes, because UAE more than likely is not gonna be playing any matches for the majority of this until right at the end. And UAE are the 4th highest ranked team, so
yeah, they're no slouches, are they?
Yeah, it's
gonna
be interesting when it comes to the UAE when they get into the game.
No, I agree.
You know, see how well they fare up, because at the moment obviously Nigeria dominating. Ecuador's looking quite good right now. As well. I mean, Ecuador and Nigeria both undefeated so far. That might change for Nigeria. They've got Saudi Arabia, who currently lie in 4th. This
is a big crunch match, this is probably the 2 favourites to go through in this group.
Yep, 2 highest ranking teams in this group. It's a win for Saudi Arabia!
That is a huge win for Saudi Arabia. Nigeria defeated.
Yep.
And this group really has been blown wide open with that.
Yep, Ecuador now 3 points clear at the end of the 3rd fixture. Because Romania and Peru can't catch that, but Peru really need a win and a goal, actually. They've let in 6 and scored none.
Yep, almost as bad as England.
Romania with the win, 2-0. Romania also on 6 points.
Peru losing ground and fast. They are yet to score. They've conceded 8 in 3 games. It's not a good start from Peru.
Not good for the lowest ranking team in this group. Angola now, currently 6th, take on Nigeria in 4th.
All-African clash.
3-1 win for Nigeria. They move up to 2nd place.
They bounce back after that defeat to Saudi Arabia with a good win, up to 2nd, as Chris said.
Ecuador now, currently the only team undefeated apart from the UAE, versus Peru, a team yet to get off the mark.
Yep. Ecuador with a win here will really stamp some authority on this group.
Yep, all South American clash here. Win for Ecuador, 2-1. They remain undefeated so far.
Peru have scored a goal. Good for them.
Yeah, Peru score a goal, but -9 at the moment for Peru. It's not looking good. Romania now going to be able to get 3 points against England.
They'll move them level on points with Nigeria on 9 points.
I like the way that essentially Nigeria and Saudi Arabia have sort of slipped up already, but Ecuador's just taken this.
I think Ecuador, to be fair to Ecuador, they haven't had the hardest fixtures yet. They haven't played Saudi Arabia. They haven't played Nigeria. So when they do start to play those bigger teams, it's going to be interesting to see if they've built up enough of a lead to kind of maintain that gap.
Yep, and especially, obviously, teams like Romania, they've already played Saudi Arabia once and won, so it's going to be interesting when it comes to Romania. Saudi Arabia have already beaten Nigeria, so they could start being on the rise against the lower-ranked teams.
It's going to be fascinating. Well, this is an all-Asian affair now between Iran and Saudi Arabia. We've mentioned Saudi Arabia being one of the big fish in this. They're going to have to do a good job to beat Iran, though.
It's a 1-1 draw. First draw of the group, and we're in fixture 4.
Impressive that was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Good result. I think that's probably a good result for Iran, if anything, because it holds Saudi Arabia back just a little bit.
Yeah, but Iran really do not want to be staying in 4th, just on the off chance of a potential dud.
Correct.
Angola and Peru, the two lowest ranked teams going at it. 28th and 30th. Peru get the win finally. They get their first win on the board.
Big win for Peru. Of course, Angola's only win so far did come against England, didn't it? So I suppose you have to take that into consideration that they haven't beaten another team yet.
Yep, it's a top table clash right now. Ecuador versus Nigeria.
This is the acid test for Ecuador. If they can win this, maybe they are for real.
3-1 Nigeria. Nigeria move to 1st for now.
And inflict the first defeat on Ecuador of this group, and England will give 3 points now to Saudi Arabia.
Yep, who will move up to 3rd, at least for the moment. So they're slowly starting to fight back, Saudi Arabia. That's what you get when you beat Nigeria early.
Of course, they did have that slip up against Romania, but of course, as we've said already, these are all the best of the best teams, and England. So
Yep.
it's anyone's game. It really is anyone's game.
Yep, it's bound to be expected when it comes to that. And, you know, Nigeria finally starting to show their teeth, so is Saudi Arabia. And if Ecuador can stay in there, those could be our top three. And, well, it could be a dogfight for the rest.
It could be. It depends on if the... I'm skeptical on Romania still. I really am. But we'll have to see how they deal with an opponent like Iran, for example.
Yep, Romania 2 points ahead of Iran, but a win for Iran puts them right into the chasing pack. 2-1 Romania. They move to third.
Big result for Romania there, and they play back-to-back fixtures as they play Angola next.
Yep, Angola currently on 3 points. Romania on 12 right now. It's another win for Romania. 2-0. They've only lost one so far.
And that was against Nigeria, I think, was it?
Yes, because they beat Saudi Arabia. But Romania, the big shockers, I think, in this group so far.
Good result for Romania there. And Ecuador plays Saudi Arabia. This is a big crunch match now for Ecuador. They're playing the big teams now. So they've got to make hay while the sun shines.
Yep, lost to Nigeria. Beat Saudi Arabia, though. 2-1 for Ecuador.
They move up into second place, level on points with Romania, but behind on goal difference. And they're both going to be behind Nigeria on goal difference, as England are going to grant them a 3-0 win.
Yep, Nigeria going to be top of the leaderboard again, but it's a three-way dogfight right now. They're three teams all on the same amount of points after fixture 6.
This is fascinating because, again, these are the quote-unquote lower-ranked teams, or the lowest-ranked group as a whole. And there's no real standout except, again, maybe Nigeria. But even then, we've seen that they can be beaten because Saudi Arabia have already done it.
Yep, Nigeria, the highest-ranked team in this group. Ecuador, the third highest-ranked team in this group. Romania, the fifth highest-ranked team in this group. You know, and Iran's not really out of the woods yet either.
We haven't seen what the UAE can do yet either.
That is going to be interesting when they come in. Iran, currently in 5th place, need a win here over... well, Peru, who are starting to fade quite quickly.
Peru, if they want to qualify or have any hopes of qualifying, they need to beat Iran here.
They don't. 3-1 to Iran. Iran keeps the pressure on Saudi Arabia.
They do indeed. And then Saudi Arabia will play Angola, the other team, with just the 3 points so far. Their 3-point win, of course, coming over England.
3-0 win for Saudi Arabia. They stay in 4th for now, putting a bit of daylight behind Iran, but... a bigger win for Iran means that they could leapfrog Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it's true. Now, a top table clash. 2 teams on 15 points on goal difference. They are separated by 1. Romania and Ecuador.
Yep. 2 of the biggest shockers, I think, to be in this sort of title clash. And Romania with another win.
Absolutely huge result for Romania. It puts a lot of goals between themselves and Ecuador. And, of course... takes them on to 18 points.
Yep, Peru are going to be able to get their first, or the second 3 points on the board here, but this time against England.
Of course, Peru beating Angola for their first 3 points.
Yeah, Peru and Angola not looking great right now, but it could literally be anyone else.
An Indy.
It's an Indy again.
Excellent.
He's back. He's back after wanting more of the big R back last time.
Well, he would do, wouldn't he? Because it's the big R.
Yeah, who doesn't? To be honest, who doesn't? Yeah. I like the way that our 2 favourite country flags both changed theirs since this game came out.
I know. Just like Libya with the green and the big R.
Big green and the big R. They both changed their bloody flags since.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Libya kind of had a bit of a uprising, didn't they, against their esteemed leader at the time, Colonel Gaddafi, I suppose.
Yep. Iran, currently 5th place, need to keep the pressure on Saudi Arabia, but they do have... highest ranked in this group, rank 6 Nigeria to take on.
Tough team Nigeria to beat. Iran up against it here.
It's a draw between the two. Only the second draw, and we've just about to go into fixture 8.
And the UAE are about to start playing. Here we go. So they are playing Angola.
Yep, here comes the fight coming in, and it's a draw between the two to kick off.
Not enough, really, for UAE, because Angola are yet to score points other than against England. So that is a terrible result for the UAE.
Yep. Ecuador now going to be able to get 3 points here against England, which is going to put them into second for now until Nigeria play.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how Nigeria deal with their next opponent. But it does mean, at the moment, Romania, on merit, after the equal games played, are top.
Yep, they're top of the league right now. I mean, that's for a team ranked 20th, the 5th highest ranked team in this group. That's a big statement from Romania right now. It could be the fairy tale dream, just like the 2021 European Championship for them.
Yeah, but I don't think they ever expected to be in the Champion of Champions period. So the fact that they're doing so well,
yeah, they're running with it right now. It's going well for Romania. They could be in the top 3 and not even be the dud.
We'll have to wait and see. Nigeria play Iran again. They've just played.
Yep, and Iran 5 points ahead of Iran 5 points behind Nigeria so far.
It was a draw last time. What will it be this time?
It's a 4-1 win for Nigeria. They move first for now, but Romania could take the top spot back.
Yeah, so they take on Peru down in 6th place in the league with 6 points.
Yep, not looking good for Peru here. 4-0 Romania!
Massive result there for Romania, and they push their goal difference to level with Nigeria as well. That's crucial.
Yep, Ecuador now going to go straight to fixture 9, so Saudi Arabia are going to get a bit of a break as the UAE catch up.
Yeah, Ecuador playing the UAE, who really need to get off the mark here.
It's a win for UAE, 1-0. They move above Angola and have played 6 games less.
It's true.
But Angola are going to be able to get 3 more points by beating England again.
Well, I was going to say, that's their second bye win, so that could be crucial to know that Angola have now played England twice already. So, you know...
Is the guy you said that was a complete prick?
He's just screaming. Ah!
No, he's like, so before we did this, obviously I streamed my screen to Sam through Discord, and he just said, "Yeah, I can see Steve Screech," and then just started bad mouthing him.
I don't actually hate Steve Screech. I've never met him. I couldn't tell you if he's a nice guy or not.
Yeah, but you said, did you say I've never met him? He could be a right prick.
He could be. I don't know. He could be a lovely guy. He could be a prick. You never know. Mr. Screech, if you're out there, thank you for making this game, but for God's sake, you know.
Can we have a mod of it to have
Yes,
like Montenegro
please.
and New Caledonia in it?
For the love of God, please.
Please. And Comoros as well, but have their stats be like 100 each.
Yeah.
Peru, currently 7th. Iran, fading fast, to be honest, but they need to start trying to fight back.
This is a crucial match for both teams. If Peru win this, then it kind of gives them a little bit more momentum. But if Iran wins this, you've got to think, well, Peru's probably out of it.
It's a win for Iran, 3-2. Big win for the casual there.
Yeah, and also it puts them above Saudi Arabia for now.
Top of the table clash right now. It's Romania, Nigeria.
Of course, Nigeria won the first time, but they are away from home this time. Romania to extend their lead at the top of the championship.
They don't. They don't. It's a draw, though.
That could be good for them, actually.
I'd say Romania would take that.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't get overtaken. It's now all in their own hands. Nigeria can't do anything to stop them.
Yep, the UAE are going to move up to 6th here with their first England points.
Yep.
So, in very little games, they've already moved up. Probably the 2 chasers here, the 2 lowest ranked teams, Angola and Peru.
Yeah, I think it lifts them above Peru on points. Not Angola yet, because I think Angola obviously had 2 wins and, of course, that draw as well. So they'll be on 7 points, whereas UAE are... Oh, no, UAE are also on 7 points.
They're on 4, so they'll be on 7, but they got a superior goal difference.
Ah, so you might be right, actually. They might lift themselves above Angola.
Yep, so I think they'll be in 6th. They should be in 6th, if my math's correct, which it might not be, to be honest. Oh, there we go, 6th.
All right, there you go. I tell you what, Chris, your math is infallible.
Yeah. Right, Ecuador, currently 3rd. Looking okay right now. They do have Angola, who, well, 6 losses in 9 games. Not looking good for them, really, is it?
Yeah, they've only got a draw against the UAE and, of course, the 2 bye wins against England. So Ecuador need to capitalise here.
It is a win. 2-0 Ecuador. They move above Nigeria for now.
Yeah, into 2nd place with 21 points. It lifts them, crucially as well, 8 points clear of Saudi Arabia, because it depends on how many points Saudi can pull back later on.
Yep, really those top 4 just need to try and win as many points as possible to try and pull away from Saudi Arabia before they get their matches.
Correct. Romania can do just that by beating Iran, who are currently the incumbent 4th place team.
Yep, 8 points between them so far, same amount of games. Win for Romania, 4-0 again!
Cracking result for Romania. It puts them 4 points clear of Ecuador and 5 currently ahead of Nigeria as they take on Peru.
Yep, Peru fading fast here. Win for Nigeria, 2-1. Back in a second they go.
Absolutely. Now, the UAE, still yet to concede a goal, actually, and are still unbeaten, take on Iran, who... It's not looking great for them, I'll be honest, because they've played 3 games more than Saudi Arabia and are only 1 point ahead.
Yep, it's not looking good for them, and they've played 7 games more than the UAE, and only have double their points, which is 14 over 7.
Yeah.
That could very well change. It does! 3-0 win for UAE!
That's a monster win for the UAE, and it puts them only 4 points behind Iran and only 3 behind Saudi Arabia. It could be a battle between the Gulf states here to get into that top 4.
It could very well be. Nigeria now looking to try and take back the lead, at least for now, if they beat Angola.
Angola, probably one of the weakest teams in there, so you'd have to favour them.
4-0 Nigeria, they go top for now at least.
Yeah, on to 26 points as Peru take on Ecuador. Peru, I think, are pretty much out of it, aren't they?
Yep, only 6 points for them so far. Ecuador on 21. To win for Ecuador, 3-1. They right up there with the pack so far.
So Romania are about to get their second bye win as they take on England and will pick up another 3 points.
Yep, and move back to the top again. Romania have been dominant here.
They've turned up with a point to prove that 2021 European Championship victory was no fluke, and they are proving it and then some here, aren't they?
Yep, I mean, Romania had a terrible Global Trophy 2022, but they've shown up here in the Champion of Champions so far. They are our Croatia so far.
They've been excellent so far. Very, very impressive. And you have to say as well, I'm surprised how much Romania have been able to stick it to Nigeria, because I had Nigeria running away and going unbeaten for this.
Yep, no, Romania, the shocker so far. Nigeria could take the lead back with a win over the UAE.
Easier said than done, though, because the UAE are a very, very good team, clearly. They've been very, very good and yet to concede a goal, so let's see.
They have now 4-0 Nigeria.
That was a point, wasn't it? A point to prove there for Nigeria.
Yep, Iran starting to fade fast, especially with Saudi Arabia and UAE teams that have so many games in hand over them. They've got Angola. They need to start getting wins.
Desperately need a win here, don't they?
4-1 Iran. Big win. I think that... It doesn't knock out Angola and Peru, but it's close.
I mean, they won't get the 3rd place, will they? Because they'll have to get so many points. So they will, at best, all they can hope for is a dud team with results going their way.
A potential, going through in 4th, but yeah, they could very well be the dud, because at the moment their points are terrible. Ooh, big top clash now. Romania could take the lead back, or Ecuador could close the gap.
Yeah, Romania win here would put them back to the top, and it probably would give them enough impetus to go win the title, but Ecuador still in this.
Romania 2-1.
Massive result for Romania. Again, go back to the top, and I think are pretty much there now, I think, but not quite confirmed, but
no,
much.
they've qualified.
So there you go. Romania will be in the Champion of Champions finals.
16 games. And also, they've gone above that magic 30 points as well. So I think even if they do have a really bad run of form and finish 4th, I think they're there.
Yeah, excellent stuff for Romania. Congratulations to them. And next up, it is Peru, who are going to get their 3rd win as they take on England for the 2nd time.
Yep, Peru and Angola pretty much out of it at this point. UAE and Saudi Arabia obviously are going to be having quite a few matches coming up, so but I don't think either of them will be able to catch Romania's points total. But again, it depends on how Romania's rest of the matches go, but I don't see them dropping that many places right now. But they very well could still do that. They could essentially banana skin like Bosnia-Herzegovina did in the European preliminaries this year.
Forget as well, Saudi Arabia have played 7 games and are on 13 points. They've got to play another 9 games, so in theory they could get another 27. So they are definitely in with a shout, Saudi Arabia, if they win all their games. But obviously, it's if they win all their games.
Yep, Peru going to be playing back-to-back games here for their 13th fixture. They take on the UAE. They're not out of it yet, but they very well could be very soon.
UAE, a win here will take them level on points with Saudi Arabia with a game in hand over them.
Win for UAE 3-0. They are on joint points with Saudi Arabia with a game in hand, but a worse goal difference so far.
Indeed. It also pretty much eliminates Peru, but not officially. It does, in fact, mean that, a Romania win here against Angola will eliminate Angola.
Yep, Angola will be out if they lose here to Romania. They have 3-0 Angola. First to be eliminated. First to fall.
Other than England, of course.
Well, that was a given, though. That was a given.
Yeah, it's true. Now, this is a crunch match because Ecuador win here, and it puts Iran very precarious, doesn't it, really? And it will give Ecuador a real shout of qualifying. Whereas if Iran win, it drags Ecuador back into that kind of danger zone, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a big crunch match for both teams. Iran need to try and get as much away from Saudi Arabia and UAE as possible. Ecuador, if they lose, could be pushed right into the same zone. So, yeah, it's big crunch match for these two. Win for Ecuador, 3-2. It's not looking good for Iran now. It is looking good for Ecuador, though.
It's looking very good for Ecuador. And Nigeria are about to qualify, I believe.
Yes, they are. With a victory over England. Not really surprising when it comes to Nigeria, but they've made a bit of a meal of it, to be honest, haven't they?
But at the same time, this doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you finish first, second, third, or fourth, or if you got enough points to go through in fourth. But the thing is, it's still a random draw when it comes to the finals anyway. So you could end up playing the team that finished fourth in this group, or the team that finished fourth in another group. It doesn't matter.
You could get the bye into the top 8.
I mean, you don't get a bye. Exactly, you could get the bye, but it doesn't mean that finishing second or first in this section doesn't really mean much, other than, I suppose, personal pride.
Yeah, I mean, but Nigeria are going to be disappointed, at least at the moment. They could go on to just scrape it right now, because they're not that far behind Romania with 3 games to go for them.
No.
And Romania now have got the UAE.
Interesting match this, because the UAE have been playing quite well. This is a big test for Romania if they want to win this competition.
It's a draw, 0-0 between the two. That gives Nigeria a shot to go first this fixture.
It does, because their goal difference is superior. We'll have to wait and see. First up, though, the two bottom-of-the-barrel teams, Peru and Angola, take each other on.
Peru need a win here to have any chance at that top 4, even though it's looking very unlikely. It is a win for Peru, so they stay in it for now, but they could very well be eliminated by the end of the fixture.
It's true. Nigeria take on Ecuador in a top-of-the-table clash.
Yep, Nigeria go first here with a win. They've taken it back. Nigeria lead by 2 goals on goal difference.
Yep, and they have also got superior goals for as well, so they will have to have Romania, get some serious wins if they're going to be standing any kind of chance.
Yep, and Iran get England, which means Peru are the second team eliminated.
Yep, shame for Peru, but, they are the lowest ranked team. We did kind of expect it to go that way for them, unfortunately.
Yep, with 2 games to go, it makes what will be an 8-point gap unassailable for them. So, yep, Peru ranked number 30. It's a shame for them. Ranked 30, they're out.
Yep. See you next time, Peru. We'll see you in the Global Trophy 2023.
Yep, alongside Angola as well, which spirited effort from Angola, I guess, since they're one of the only 2 teams with a minus goal difference in the last 4 years. But yeah, even in the easiest group, I don't think that they were going to be doing well. But Peru trying to make at least a spirited effort of it.
Yep. Now this is a massive match coming up because Saudi Arabia and UAE are on level games played, and 1 point separates the two of them. These two are going to have to chase each other right through the pack to try and qualify here.
Yep, Ecuador really isn't that safe so far, so UAE and Saudi Arabia could very well both qualify.
It could do. It depends on how many wins they can get from each other, really, as well.
Yep, Ecuador not really safe here. It's a draw between the two, so that's going to help out Ecuador at least.
It is, and now Saudi Arabia will play Angola back-to-back.
Yep, Saudi Arabia will move above the UAE with a win here. And they do 4-0, but the UAE looking to bounce back and take 5th back with a win over Ecuador. Ecuador really need a win here.
If Ecuador win this, it does give a really good bit of breathing space, but a UAE win really shows how precarious their 27 points is.
It's a win for the UAE. That is not looking good for Ecuador.
It's really not. And now the UAE play, again, the weakest team, Angola, a chance to leapfrog Iran with several games in hand.
Yep, Angola's final match. And it is a loss for Angola. 7 points they'll finish off with a minus 27 goal difference.
It's not great, is it? Especially when you consider 6 of those came against England.
And now it's Ecuador's last match against Saudi Arabia.
A last chance for Ecuador to give themselves a bit of breathing room over the oncoming pack. A win for Saudi Arabia lifts them above Iran.
It's a win for Ecuador!
Crucial win for Ecuador. Could that be enough? Maybe. Saudi Arabia now take on England to get 3 more points. This is their second fixture against England.
Yep, that ends Ecuador's run with 30 points, which is not bad. We have seen teams qualify on 30 points in 4th before in the Champion of Champions. So, Ecuador, that victory, they might have done enough.
It's going to be tough, though, because, you know, those 2 Gulf state teams, Saudi Arabia and the UAE, are going to be chasing them down. They've got games in hand. UAE, of course, still have to play England a second time, don't forget. So...
but the problem is those 2 Gulf states still have to play teams like Nigeria and Romania who are looking for the title, so...
Yeah,
those games in hand are not certain victories.
They're not. Would you rather have games in hand or would you rather have points on the board? It's the age-old question.
Exactly. Saudi Arabia now a point behind the UAE with the UAE with an extra game in hand and a point ahead.
Yeah, crazy stuff from the UAE. A UAE win here against Iran pretty much consigns Iran out of the competition.
It's a 1-1 draw. It's not enough for the UAE, and Iran stay in it, at least for now, but the UAE are gonna... Nope, the Iran are out. UAE are going to be able to get their 3 points here against England, which means 4th place, there's 4-point difference between Iran and the UAE. So Iran, well, to be honest, we've had the 8th highest ranking team in this group going out. No, it was the 7th highest ranking team going out first. Then the 8th, and now the 6th has gone.
There you go, then. It's a shame for Iran, but we will not see them in the Champion of Champions final in a few weeks' time.
Yep. So at the moment,
the UAE, though.
At the moment, the standings or the rankings are actually showing their worth. But the problem is, the 5th highest ranked team so far is Romania.
Yep, they're qualified.
Who are, well, yeah, they've pretty much qualified at this point. Even if they do lose their last 2 games. Ecuador can't catch them. Iran can't catch them. UAE can, and so can Saudi Arabia. But that would mean that they still finish in 4th, at the least, with a 35 points. So that's very high.
Yeah, you have to favour them, wouldn't you? But this is a crucial match again for Saudi Arabia. They need to win to keep pace with their Gulf neighbours, the UAE.
Yep, UAE looking quite strong right now. It's a draw between the 2. That is not good for Saudi Arabia.
No, they're now 4 points behind the UAE, and they've now got to play the team in first, Nigeria.
Yep, England have played all 16 of their games, so it's quick fire from here on in. Nigeria looking for the title. It's a win, 2-0 for Nigeria. Saudi Arabia, this isn't looking good for them. They could miss out completely. I think they might do.
Yeah, they've got 3 games left to turn it around. They could get up to 30 points only, so they could only match what Ecuador have already accrued.
Yep, and Saudi Arabia currently have a superior goal difference right now. UAE really in good contention here.
Yeah, they're in the driving seat, aren't they?
Yep, they've got Peru,
who of course already eliminated, got nothing to play for, and it's another win for the UAE. It puts them on to 28 points.
Could Saudi Arabia's failure allow Ecuador to qualify?
Well, the UAE here are on the warpath, and they've got to play the current leaders. And Nigeria's final game is the UAE.
Yep, Nigeria with another win, so Romania need to beat both Saudi Arabia and the UAE and score at least 7 goals.
It's a big ask, isn't it?
Altogether to take the title. Saudi Arabia now get Peru, which will leapfrog them over Iran if they win or draw. 3-2, big win for Saudi Arabia. They needed that.
Crucial win, and they now play Romania, the team in 2nd place. Romania, a failure to secure a big win here pretty much guarantees Nigeria the title. Saudi Arabia, a failure for a win for them, and they're out.
Yep, they're pretty much out if they lose this. It's a win for Saudi Arabia. Romania are not going to take the title. Nigeria win Group A.
As expected, really, but they made it hard for themselves, didn't they?
Yep, now Romania are going to be taking their final match. They will take on Romania next, and a win for UAE, and Ecuador really become a target for Saudi Arabia.
They do. It does mean, though, that Romania have, in fact, now qualified. They are guaranteed to be in the top 3 as well, so they will be in the finals at the end of the competition. They take on the UAE now.
Yep, a win for the UAE qualifies them in the top 3. It's a win for Romania! Oh, that gives the door open for Saudi Arabia now! In the final match!
They play each other. So, Ecuador currently in 3rd on 30 points.
They have qualified!
But it depends on where they finish, because of course 30 points is good, as we've said already, but may give them a dud later on.
Yep, so essentially the winning team finishes 3rd, and if it's a draw, Ecuador finishes 3rd, UAE finish 4th on 29, and Saudi Arabia are out.
This is everything on this final game between the two Gulf states, the UAE versus Saudi Arabia.
Everything on the line here. It's a draw! Ecuador finish 3rd!
Well, well, well.
Saudi Arabia are out!
I don't believe it.
Out goes Saudi Arabia, the 2nd highest ranked team in this group, and they have barely been able to miss out. UAE, that's a decent points total of 29. That's not bad at all. That might be enough for them to qualify without being the dud. Ecuador, thanking their lucky stars for that draw there, because they were looking precarious for a while, but they've been able to hold on.
Yeah, they have. They've managed to secure 3rd place somehow, because that was the only result that could have given them 3rd place. So they are guaranteed to compete in the finals.
Yep, fair play brilliantly for Ecuador there. So, the scores on the doors as follows. In 8th place, with 7 points, is Angola. Only got 1 point throughout the entire league.
Yeah, other than the England wins, of course, I think they drew with the UAE, actually, didn't they? Or something like that.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So, not bad because it's securing a point against a team that actually did qualify, but yeah, it was pretty miserable other than that, wasn't it?
Yep, not much better, but in 7th place with 12 is Peru.
Yep, 2 wins over Angola, I think.
Yep, 2 wins over Angola, 2 wins over England. Next up, 6th place with 22. Bit of a jump in quality, it's Iran.
Surprised they managed to just fall off so quickly, but Iran, a spirited effort. They got 6 wins and 4 draws and a positive goal difference. What more can you say?
Yeah, it wasn't a bad performance from Iran. They certainly weren't the biggest outshiners, but they certainly did decently. 6th highest ranking team in this group, finished 6th.
Yep.
5th, with 28, missing out by a single point. The 2nd highest ranked team in this group, Saudi Arabia, a big disappointment in this one.
They'll be kicking themselves, I think. This was an opportunity for them because you look at the teams above them, the UAE, Ecuador, Romania, they've got to be looking at it and thinking we should have been beating them, shouldn't we? To miss out with a game to go, it's crazy.
Yep, 4th place, scraping through with 29, the UAE.
That race between themselves and Saudi Arabia proved to be the finale, really, as well, with them playing each other. Wasn't quite enough for them to leapfrog Ecuador, but they have finished 4th.
Yep, it's a good points total, 29, but will it be enough for UAE to survive not being the dud? It's a good points total. I think it might be enough, but we'll have to wait and see for the other 3 groups. 3rd, with 30, how the hell did they survive this? Going through to the Global Trophy Champion Champions, round of 16. Skin of their teeth stuff, but it's Ecuador.
It was all looking so good. They were challenging Romania and Nigeria for the longest time, and then they just slowly faded away. And they've ended up now just scraping through. But that's all they needed to do, right? They just needed to scrape through. Yep,
the 3rd highest ranking team in this group finished 3rd. So, good performance there from Ecuador altogether, but Ooh, I think the fans of Ecuador are going to be having heart palpitations for years after this one. Now we get to the surprise package. Second, with 38, it's Romania.
Yeah, Romania, the 5th highest ranked team in terms of the last 4 years in this group, finishing second. What a great run. They only lost to Nigeria. You know, incredible results for them. Only 9 goals conceded as well. Brilliant.
Yep, they were able to keep pace with the leaders for quite a while when it comes to that. However, you can't delay the inevitable on this, and first place with 41 is Nigeria.
Yeah, the favourites made a bit of a meal of it, but they have secured the league. As you can see there, the beautiful trophy on the right-hand side.
That's a lovely trophy, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, absolutely stunning. And it does mean that Nigeria, once again, will have the opportunity to at least try and replicate their feats in 2018. Maybe they can go one better this time.
Yep, Nigeria, obviously our current runners-up, through in first place, quite comfortably, well, sort of comfortably, but they did really make a mess of it. However, through nonetheless, and champions of Group A nonetheless.
There you go.
So, next week, the Group of Death happens. Spain, Cameroon, poor, long-suffering Denmark, Liberia, the current champion of champions Brazil, Colombia, Japan, and the Netherlands are in Group B.
It's gonna be a mess, isn't it? Like, there's gonna be a big name is gonna miss out.
It is going to be a complete bloodbath, and I cannot wait for Group B. Cannot wait for Group B at all. So, well, that's it for Group A. We have our 4 teams through: Nigeria, Romania, Ecuador, and the UAE. UAE looking for a team to finish 4th that has a lower point score than them. Could it happen in Group B, maybe, since it's so competitive?
Possibly. I have just noticed as well, looking at the league table here, we have 1 team from Africa, 1 team from Europe, 1 team from Americas, and 1 team from Asia through.
Well, that's quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite nice when it comes to that. It could also happen in Group B, I guess, apart... Oh, no, Colombia is... yeah, Colombia is there, so... It could happen in Group B, too.
Yep, we'll have to wait and
see.
Oh,
Brazil's there, of course. Yeah. How could I forget about Brazil? But yeah.
How good? Yeah.
Group B, the Group of Death. Some teams are going to be going home in tears on that one, and they should have been going through. Just like Saudi Arabia in this group. Group B is going to be an absolute mess, and I am all for it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be chaos, but we'll have to wait and see for next week. Until then, we'll have to could only speculate. Who knows? I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but do you know when we will know? Next week. I'm Masterath.
I've been Sam Elliott 64.
And we'll see you next week for the second group, Group B, of the Global Trophy Champion of Champions 2022. There will be blood. We'll see you next week.